On Halloween, also known as All Hallows Eve, some people believe that the veil that separates our reality from the world of the supernatural is at its thinnest. On this day, above all other days, we should expect to encounter ghosts, spirits, haunted objects, supernatural creatures, and a host of other unexplained phenomena. However, what we usually encounter is just dangerous people acting crazy. This is Audio Stories with JB Simien, and what follows is 5 mostly true stories of crazy events on Halloween night. Story 1. Peter was obsessed with zombies. He believed that they exist and he feared them. Later, he would be diagnosed with kinematophoria, a fear of zombies. He spent countless hours watching zombie TV shows and movies. He discoursed with his associates in detail about his plans to survive a zombie siege. He showed his friends the loaded gun he kept in a holster strapped to the underside of a table lamp by his front door for emergencies. He also had another gun prepared in the same way by the back door, and loaded guns prepared in every room of his house. Pete wanted to be ready if any zombies showed up. It was a good thing he didn't have any children in the house. It's unfortunate that late one Halloween night, someone else's children came to Peter's house. 2 drunken college boys, costumed as zombies, chose to stop at Peter's house to ask for directions to a house party in the neighborhood. As they prepared to knock, Peter fired 15 rounds of 9mm ammunition through his front door, killing one boy and critically injuring the other. It's very fortunate for Peter that he lived in a stand-your-ground state. His lawyer was able to convince the jury of his peers that Peter feared for his life and therefore was not guilty of a crime. Story 2. Halloween night. 3 teenage girls were hanging out in the food court of a local mall. They met a really cute older guy who invited them to a party at one of his friends' homes. They decided to go because the guy looked trustworthy. The party was at a mansion in a really expensive neighborhood in Southern California. The girls recognized some minor celebrities at the party, so they began to relax and consume some cocktails and some pills from a bowl that was being passed around. The girl who tells this story is unsure how long she had been unconscious. She woke up nude in a small dark room the size of a closet with a blanket over her. There were 4 walls, no windows, no door, and a concrete floor. There was a toilet and a thin mat for her to lay on. The only water she had to drink and clean herself with was from the toilet's reservoir. When the police found her more than 6 years later, based upon a tip from the utility company that there was possibly marijuana being grown in the house, she had spent those years being sexually assaulted and abused by her abductor. She had given birth to 2 children whose disposition is unknown. Her 2 friends have not been found. Story 3. On Halloween, a divorced father took his 2 kids trick-or-treating. They went all over town and had a great time. At the end of the night, when he dropped the kids at his ex-wife's house, they both had enormous bags filled with candy. Their mother inspected all the candy and she put it away. She would allow the kids to consume it a little bit at a time over the month. A few weeks later, one of the children became very ill after eating some of the candy and had to go to the emergency room. The test at the hospital revealed that the child had been poisoned. The remaining candy was tested, and several pieces in both bags were found to be poisoned. The police brought the father in for questioning. They wanted to see if he could remember the houses that the candy had come from. The police officer who was speaking with the father opened with this statement: Well, it looks like you did it. The police officer was talking about the rare odds of receiving poisoned candy on Halloween. The father took the policeman's remark as their knowledge that he had poisoned his children's candy and confessed to the deed. He reasoned that if the children were dead, he wouldn't have to pay child support and he could collect their life insurance policy. Story 4. Halloween night. A church decided it would put on a Halloween haunted house for charity and to keep the church kids out of trouble. It was a big hit with the customers. The costumed actors and the props were very scary. Almost everyone complimented the pastor on the old lady prop hanging by her neck from a tree in the graveyard. They said that prop was especially realistic. They were correct. It turns out that the old lady hanging by her neck in the graveyard was a local homeless person who had committed suicide. Story 5. A couple was driving to a Halloween party when some teens started throwing raw eggs at their expensive car as they passed. The driver stopped the car to confront the teens. There was a heated argument. The driver turned to go back to his car. One of the teens raised a gun and fired it into the back of the driver's head. He died at the scene. The killer was never found. Well, that completes 5 mostly true Halloween stories based upon the actions of some very crazy people. I'm JB Simien. I hope that you've enjoyed this Halloween audio story and that you will share it with your friends. Please don't forget to like it below also. Thank you, take care, and happy Halloween.